Hi guys, Norfolk Vapors back again for another review. Thanks very much for all the views and the comments on all the other videos we've done so far. It can only help the channel a bit, you know. But mainly, what I want to say to you today is, let me know what you want to see. You know, I've done some mod reviews, I've done some tank reviews, I've done juice reviews. You know, what are you interested in? You know, if there's anything in particular you want me to bring to the channel, you know, to do a review on, drop me a line, drop me an email, drop me a smoke signal, send me a carrier pigeon. I don't really mind, but say, you know, really at the end of the day, let me know what you want to see on the channel and I'll do my very, very best to bring it to you. But anyway, enough of that one. Right, today's review follows on from something that's been going on since just before Christmas, and that is another sub-tank. Do we need another one? Don't know really, but you know, it's one of those things. We had Atlantis, we had the sub-tanks, we had the mini sub-tanks, we had the nano sub-tanks, we had the Arctic, we had the Magnus, we had the Smart VCT. You know, everyone's trying to get a bit of the sub-ohm market at the moment. Whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, I don't know. I mean, I've said in the other videos, you know, sub-ohming can be immense fun as long as you have the right equipment. Meaning you've got a battery or device that can actually give you the correct power for what you're trying to do. Luckily, my neck of the woods, which I'm based in the east of England, to say, you know, the vendors around here do seem to be getting a little bit more clued up, and you know, in the early days when the first sub ones come around, I was a bit wary because I know a couple of the vendors were not selling the correct pairings, or not correct device or correct batteries with the tank in question. Happy to say, yeah, everything, you know, people seem to be learning, and it's a part of the thing I do myself. I go around to the local vendors and hopefully, you know, I do give them a bit of education. You know, not to say tell them off, but hopefully point them in the right direction. So, you know, for you, the vapor, you get the better experience, and hopefully, you know, you end up with everything going well. You know, we don't want people having nasty experiences with vaping. We don't need it for the community. We don't need it for you personally. You know, last thing we need is bad press. You know, there's been some press where people have had issues with mech devices and stuff, but a lot of the time it can be down to bad instruction and not so much a case of, you know, the actual device being faulty. We have the odd exception. The Clapper Mini was a classic one. Just recently, as you may well know, you know, people are buying them, but unfortunately there were some major production issues, and quite a few of them end up going poof. But there we are. Anyway, tank today. Right, we've had Atlantis, sub-tanks, Arctic, Magnus, VCT, and a plethora of other devices. Now we're going back to square one again, because the first one to hit the market was the Atlantis from Aspire. And lo and behold, look what landed with me at the weekend. The Atlantis 2. As you can see, empty, because I've been using it for the last couple of days, but I will show you what comes in the box as well. I'll go through the whole thing and what my thoughts of it is, but overall at the moment, I think it's a little bit cheeky, because with Aspire this time around, as you'll see, they've taken some things away and then also had the extra value part of it as well, where it means they make extra value out of it, so because you've got to go back and buy something else if you should wish to do so. But anyway, let's get to the unboxing. As you can see, standard Aspire packaging, same as anything. When you get anything from Aspire, and how badly they've been copied with like the Nautilus and the Nautilus Minis and also the Atlantises, please check the scratch panel. I haven't, because I say, literally, these are hot off the box. I say, as far as I know, Faststack have not yet actually even started copying these things yet. So anyway, inside the box, we have a lovely piece of cardboard. Now, what I loved about the original Atlantis packaging was the surprise you got when you took it apart, which I'm now trying to do. But this is where the problems start. When you got the Atlantis, you pull the centre out, and in the back, you've got a nice surprise. You've got additional glass tank, and you've got these backup coil. This time, a little bit cheeky, you don't get the backup tank. All you get is the replacement coil, which is different to the one you actually get, which comes in preloaded in the device. I think that's a naughty no-no, because you know, everyone has accents for tanks, and it was a brilliant thing that the Aspire did with the original Atlantis, that you got the spare tank come in there. I think it was brilliant. But this time round, a bit of cost cutting, it's gone. So all you actually get inside the packaging is, if I can get it out of here, which I very much doubt I'm going to be able to in one piece. Let's get it out of there. There we go. You get your backup coil. Now, preloaded, the coil you will get is a 0.2 ohm coil, so just be aware of that. If they've not run the device capable of running a 0.2 tank, then please don't try to do it. And the replacement one is 0.5. I mean, made some changes to the coils. Absolutely huge intakes there for your juice. And it looks to me that they may well have changed the internals. I know some people had some complaints with the originals that they were getting bits of the filling come out of the coil. By the looks of it, to me that looks. Let's have a closer look on that. That looks like that is. It can't be ceramic. That is definitely different. That is most definitely different to Atlantis. But yeah, I mean, you can see there, you know, massive juice holes. Definitely on par, if not slightly bigger than the Magnus coils that I showed you the other day. But yeah, I'll stick that over the side for now. But yeah, as coils go, looks promising. Will it do what it says? Now, well, I completely forget. The 0.5 coil is rated for 20 to 30 watts. So, as per usual, it says it on the coil. Do what it says. Don't go try cracking silly power through it, because with all coils, you're either going to reduce the life of the coil or it's going to go pop. And they say, especially if you're going to work and it's your work vape, and that goes and fouls up, you're stuck for the day. You don't have a pocket full of coils, so just do what it says. But then we go into the tank itself. Now I'll take this off here. The old trusty Siggy 150. Which I never have actually reviewed. It's a lovely little device there. But here it is itself. Here is the tank. There we go, over there. The tank itself. One Aspire version, Atlantis version 2. Now, the air intakes look very, very similar to the original Atlantis. Nothing major there, nothing that really seems to have changed. What has changed is obviously the bore on the drip tip. Now this is one of my major gripes. Size of that. See, size of my fingernail. That is absolutely huge. And also on the side, getting close here, you can see holes in the side of the drip tip as well. Now they, if you twist it, will actually shut it off to either increase or decrease the airflow through the drip tip, thus cooling it at the same time. Absolutely brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant, because the coils for the 0.2 are actually rated up to 80 watts. So the more air you're going to get through, the better the vapor and the cooler the vapor as well. Because obviously you don't want things going to blow you, melt your lips when you do it as well. Apart from that, they haven't really changed a hell of a lot. Well, not its visual. Let's get that apart there so you can have a look. You know, it mounts up the same way, you know, standard sort of Aspire style. There we go. Put that down there. As you can see there, nothing really has changed. So the only thing is you've got a lot bigger holes for your juice to get through. Now, I will say, when you first get this out of the box, one thing they have done this time, if I get the little piece of paper, there we go, it actually does give you a warning. Thusly, it actually tells you what you should do when wicking your coil for the first time. Now, if you're experienced vapor and used these sub-tanks before, you should know now. Pre-soak your coils, let it stand for a while, and then you're good to go. But most of the time, it doesn't say it in the box. It does this time. Got full instruction there. Now, as with anything I will say, you get out of the box, you want to get a vape on. So, we'll show you what we do. So this has already been pre-wetted, so we'll go through it as I always do to show you what you have to do. It gets a bit long-winded, I know, but so you only get the questions afterwards. Now, when you get it, it comes preloaded with a 0.2 coil. Take the coil out, and all you want to do, see where you've got the juice holes, literally all you want to do is wet the holes. So a couple of drips in each place, and put a couple of drips around the centre of the wick, and that is it. That is all you have to do to pre-wet it. It's not overly complicated, but it's just something you'll do. If you go and just stick some juice straight in your tank, stick it on a battery, and away you go, you're going to knacker the coil within a couple of minutes, and you'll get a very nasty dry hit. Trust me, done it, been there. So don't do that. It's not right. It's not nice. So once you've pre-wetted it, stick it back into your base, and then of course you then want to put it into the top. Now make sure it's not overly tight, but good and tight into the base. With some of the Aspire products, once you put the two together, You'll unscrew it in a later time, and the screw will stick. Your head will end up in the top of the tank, which you don't want. Because I've heard people actually getting pliers and stuff to get things out. Now, the tank itself, very, very similar to the original Atlantis. You can see there you've got the big areas for the juice to come through. Yeah, there's not really much more to say. It's very similar. I mean, the only thing they've really uprated is the actual coils, and so I can't really see a lot that's actually changed. It's the coils and the drip tip seem to be what they've changed in this range. Okay, the people will probably correct me and say I'm wrong, but that's really all I can say on that. Now, once you've wetted your coil, stick some juice in, which I've just gone straight past this and I haven't shown you, so I'll just show you now quickly. Same as with all the tanks from Aspire, absolutely literally all of them. Get your bottle, slight tilt, and then just put some juice in like so. Now what you don't want to do with any of these tanks is overfill it. You must not go over the lower line, because if not, you're just going to go straight down the middle of your chimney and you end up with it in your mouth, which you don't want. We don't want random juice in your mouth at any time, and there's no joke intended. Anyway, once you've done that, put it back together, but don't over tighten it. Just nip tight. There we go. Nothing major, no rocket science involved. And then all you do, put it down, go off, make a cup of coffee. That's all you got to do. Leave it about 5-10 minutes just so the wicks really get wet. And then you're really good to go. So I will not say much more of this. I'll just stick it on, and we'll see what we get. I'll start something fairly low, but the coils are rated up to 80 watts. And so, you know, anything over that, it's at your own risk and also your own expense, because you're only going to end up changing your coils a lot quicker. Do what it says. I found a sweet spot that I personally like. Everyone cooks, everyone else has their own tastes. But I found with the lower wattages, you don't get the full benefit. I mean, when I first got this, I thought, oh, I know. Yeah, Atlantis, you can go to 30 watts. Nah, I didn't even read it. Had to look at the core and went, oh Christ, it goes up to 80 watts. So, yeah. So we'll get this going. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just turn the bloody thing off. There we go. Right. Right, we'll start this off a little bit lower. Give an idea. Right, we'll start off at the Atlantis's top end, the original Atlantis's top end, which is 30 watts. There we go. Right, so we're going to start off there at 30 watts. Now that is obviously the max power that you would stick through the standard Atlantis coils. This is a little bit different. Not really going for it. It's gurgling. It sounds like it's not. Sounds like it's not actually burned the juice properly. Doesn't sound too healthy. As you can see, not a great deal of vapour. You're getting a little bit of spitting come up through the core as well, so you've got to put a bit more power through these cores to get the full benefit out of them. But you know, it's each their own. You know, if you like that kind of sensation, a coolish vape, then your 30 watt might hit your spot. You know, so I personally would probably look around about, if you want a cooler vape, probably look around about 40. So let's crank up to 40. He says there. But I find it's at the higher powers that this comes into its own. So get up to 40. There we go. There we go. There, right, 40 watts. I'm showing you there. Oh, and it's just gone off. Come on, wake up. There we go. Okay. So this is the V2 at 40. Sounds a bit better. Still a very wet vape. I don't think I've actually just said that. But where this now comes on its own, I've been running this since I got it at the weekend. A nice steady 70 watts. And I think this is where it actually hits the spot. Airflow through the added holes in the side of the drip tip definitely enhance it. But say, if not, you would be getting quite a hot vape at that temperature, at that power. But the tone of the coil completely changes when you start putting the high wattages through. Yep, and the flavour completely transforms. It definitely seems that, say, you go for the higher power, you're going to get a lot better, lot better experience with this tank. But you know, in case you're wondering what I'm vaping today, something I don't normally vape. Vape I've got today, a bit of tea juice black and blue, and as you know, that isn't high clouding juice. It is really, you know, so I think it's about a 50-50 ratio on that. I'll just let you know on that one. I can't really tell you off the top of my head because I haven't vaped this for a long while. No, I think that it's around about 50-50. It's not a high VG juice, and you can see by the amount of vapour that's producing. You stick a high VG, which I have been doing. I've had Puffin Dragon's Dragon Punch in there all weekend, and the clouds have been absolutely silly. But no, say that you've got basically the best of both worlds here. If you want to use it as a clouding tank, you can, but you can also use it as a flavour tank as well, because when you get around about 70 watts, it really punches out the flavour. Very nice. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, we've got more to come. There's other tanks that are, say, on their way, which I will bring you as soon as I get them. I'm not going to say what, because there's a couple of surprises coming up very shortly that I've been told about. Whether they surface or not, I don't know. But this for today is the Atlantis version 2. It's available everywhere. I must admit, Aspire seemed to have got it right this time. You know, when the first Atlantis came out, it was I wouldn't say selective retailers, but it definitely seemed that, you know, there were only a certain few that got it first. But with this one, everybody's got it. It's out there in the marketplace now. Prices ranging around from, I said the lowest I've seen is about £22 up to £30 plus. I pay, as you can see, the grand old total of £30. That in question came from Vision Accessories down at Great Yarmouth, a local vendor who has made some big bounds this year in terms of vape gear. You know, so respect to Leyton for letting us have, well, not letting us have that, for taking my hard-earned money. But yeah, so Vision Accessories down at Great Yarmouth, you know, very nice chap. Got an excellent range of juice at the moment. He's, you know, ranging from the Ace of Vapes through to 5 Pawns, the V-God range, you name it, he's got it. I'll put a link down to his website at the moment. The website itself isn't fully live yet, but obviously if you want to make a telephone call, the two information will be on the website. You can contact him there. But no, they say really that's it for today. You know, is this going to be the end of the sub-tanks? How far can they go? You know, it's going to be an interesting thing. You know, we've gone from, you know, we started off, as we all did, we started off with the K-Funds and stuff, and we started putting low ohm range coils into the K-Funds and stuff like that. We've now got ready-made stuff. Yeah, the Delta 2, that came and went. I mean, I really wanted to like the Delta 2 and say, but I found with the high VG juices, it didn't do it. But I found this does, strangely enough. The Magnus, you know, and also the Arctic, which I've got over there, but I haven't had a chance to get it unpacked yet. The Mag Anus, you know, it's supposed to be doing some stupid powers, 100, 150 watts. It didn't do it. Do you actually need to do that power? That's the other question. The Arctic can do up to 100 watts now. Through previous trial of that, I know it can. This can do 80 watts. I think it's pretty good. I mean, the coils can be a lot more reasonable. The Arctic and the Magnus coils, absolutely ridiculous price. But this, a lot more reasonable. So if you haven't got into the sub-ohm market yet, it's definitely worth consideration. So, but anyway, that's it from me today. As always, so you can check out the rest of the videos. You know, drop us an email, drop us a comment. I'm more than willing to answer any questions you got out there. We've got some more bits. We've got some more juices coming up this week, and we may have a couple more devices as well. Say if I can get the Arctic unbox and get that trial as well. So that's it for today. You know, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel, and you know, that's it from me, Norfolk Vapors. So vape safe, vape on.